Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So mga ka-code ko nyo, welcome again. So this time we're going to learn about switch or selection structure switch statements, or it's actually select case statement. Now, in our previous topics or discussions, we discussed about the if statement, no, if and if, one way if, two-way if, multiple if statement, and even ternary operators to actually shorten or lessen our codes. And yeah, those are just options for you to, it's as I've said, this is a matter of choice or preference whether to what to use in terms of solving a particular problems. Now, for this time, this one is another statement or another structure which you can use for solving a particular problems, which is switch statements. So when we talk about switch statements, it's actually uses a switch keyword with uh, inside of its block there are actually cases, or these cases contains the constant value. So which is after an expression is evaluated, it is going to look for an equal or equivalent value to each of the case. So meaning to say, it is evaluated or it is compared to each of the case. So once there is match, there is case that is going to match with the expression after evaluating, then therefore that case block will be executed. So right here, I have here a statement wherein or as program wherein it actually has a menu. So this one is this part is right here is actually the menu, which displays a or allows the user to choose any options like add, or the user is going to be asked to enter A to add, S to subtract, D to divide, M to multiply, and uh, it to actually end the program. So after that, you have here the choice. So it's in the a character type. So this is used to, by the way, we just initialize our character to something like this, but this is the old way of initializing choice, but you can actually initialize character into something like that. But I'm old school person, so I used to initialize my characters in that way. So especially in Borland or Turbo C++. So after that, the user is going to be, or the program is going to display this A to add, S to subtract, and so on and so forth. And then the enter choice will be concatenated after that. And then when the user enters a value for choice, then it is going to be passed in there. So after passing the value to choice, so whether it's A, S, D, M, or E, so after that, the program is now going to ask uh, it is going to accept two integers, no, which is it is stored to num1 and num2 respectively. After that, there are using if else conditions or multiple if statements. You have here, if ever the user enters a, which is based on our menu, so either in a lowercase a or a lowercase uppercase a rather, it is going to uh, display this the sum of num1 and num2 is, and then we just added the value of num1 and num2. Similarly, if ever the user enters S, or in capital letter S, or either, it depends kung unsa iyang gi-enter, like small letter S or capital letter S, then it's going to display the difference of the numbers. So the same thing happens in D, lowercase d, and capital letter case D if the user enters division or divide. So the same, and then also with the product, which is M and then M, no? Capital letter M and small letter M. So Just make sure that you use uh, an accurate, no, a correct operator or arithmetic operators for every block of statement. Otherwise, if the user enters, none of the choices, it's going to display invalid choice. So yeah, let's run the program first, and then later on we're going to change this to, or we are going to change this or convert this into a switch statement program. So let's run the program. And okay, so once we run the program, again, it is going to ask the user to enter in any of this menu here. So ASDME. So let's say we are going to enter S either in a small lowercase s, or small or lowercase s, or capital letter S. It's the same. Okay. So because C++ is case sensitive. All right. So meaning small S, or small or letter S na small, or capital letter S is, or are not the same actually. Okay, so that is why we'll need to have a explicit condition for that, either or. So either small s or capital S. So let's say we enter capital letter S, that means it is going to subtract our numbers. Okay, so enter two integers, let's say 5 and 3, and then the difference of 5 and 3 is actually 2. So if we are going to run the program and we do, let's say the user is going to enter um, not any characters, I mean, a character that is not found in the choices. So let's say we have D, okay, especially if the user is actually a programmer. Yeah, normally a program is going to test uh, as to how accurate, as to how parang the accuracy of our program, no, is going to be tested by most likely kaning mga programmers. So let's say for an instance, no, not D, but let's say we're going to enter X. So X is, so hope dapat dahil no dili sa ta mag-enter og numbers anyway. So we have here, let's say 8 and 9, kasi murag kapoy mag-enter na ka, though. So ang program na to is actually it asks you to enter choice without entering number first, and then I mean, sa X kasi is invalid choice na. So meaning, what's the point of entering at two integers, or like you actually the program is going to proceed to the next level dapat, or to the next input statement. So dapat dili. Actually, we can do that later. So invalid choice. So the only way to actually do that is like, mm, yeah, you can, if it's invalid, so we will convert this to something like that. So if, or like something like here, sorry, something like mag-enter sa tag numbers before displaying a menu. No? At least dili mag-hope ato ang user na naka-enter na siya, then naka-enter na siya menu, bit only to find out na dili di ay ang program di ay is not going to actually proceed with the whatever he or she is expecting for our program, no? Or I mean, dili na siya mag-expect kay lisod sakit, no? Sakit ba kaning mag-expect ta. So yeah, so that's it. We don't change anything. I mean, we just actually alter it in a way that our program would be something like organized compared to earlier. Organized ba? O basta, it depends again. It depends on your preference. Bahala mo asan nyo naipang. Anyway, that this is supposed to be what I I would like to in my program. So dapat mauna sa ang enter numbers before proceeding to whatever I would like to do with these numbers. Okay, so now before we'll have switch statement, I would just like um, to discuss some of the, like for an instance, if you don't want something, if you don't want in your program to have something like this one, no, A, or something like this one, choice is equal to A, you can actually do that using to upper. So to do that, you can choose either lowercase or uppercase. So since we have here A uppercase, so we expect that the user should enter uppercase. So let's remove all options that says if the choice is actually in lower case. So because based on our menu, all of our choices are actually in an upper case. So with this, we can actually convert the choice into, like, i-convert nato siya into uppercase. So let's say to upper. Okay? So we have here choice. So whatever is, no matter the user enters lowercase a, okay? So therefore, i-process yapon sa tuang program. So let's say we don't include this one, and then we enter we in our if condition, we have here choice is equal to a. So let's say for an instance, the user enters small letter, so we just remove the lowercase a, no? Meaning, ang i-process ng ano niya mga capital letters. Okay? So, equivalent of our menu. So, let's say for an instance, we have 4 and 3. And then based on our program or the menu, if the user enters, let's say, small letter A, earlier we just entered actually letter M to like kanina, or I don't know. I'm not I did not remember anymore, or I do not remember anymore. So let's say we have here enter choice A, invalid choice, because again there's no equivalent uh, uh, small letter lower or lowercase a in our program since we just remove it from here. So to do that, you can have something like this. So meaning to say, if the user enters small a, small s, small d, or small m or e, it is going to be converted into capital letter A. So yan, i-convert niya into capital letter A. So the choice now would be converted into small into uppercase A. So but this time, since two upper is it's a it's actually a function or a method, we'll need to include a another library for that. So as far as I know, the library for to upper or any string manipulation like is upper, is digit, and all of that is actually CC type. Okay, so CC type, which is character type. Okay, so let's say we don't include this one, of course the program would produce an error pointing this as an error. Now if we include this one, CC type, okay, so I guess our program would not cause any error. So let's run the program again. So earlier, the problem with our program is that when we enter the small letter A or small letter S in our program, it is not being processed. So right here, let's say we are going to input our 4 and 5, and then we choose a small letter S. So we expect that our program is going to subtract. And then after that, so here S is converted into uppercase S. So it should be processed. So that is why the difference of 4 and 5 is actually -1, because again, S is now converted into capital letter S. So when it is compared, that is the choice, which is S, is equal to S. So meaning to say, from S small letter, it is converted into new value, and then it is passed to the same variable. So parang i-update lang niya ang value sa S into capital letter. So yes, that's actually S. So if you want to, to use the app This time you can actually use a string. Okay, for an instance, you you will convert this to like string, and then so this is like it should be in a value now, and then say you have there something like this one, and then so we'll need to change this to like choice that okay at so the choice that at 0. So this would tell our program or our compiler that whenever the user enters a series of characters, let's say a word instead of like only one character, no, only one letter, like the user enters add instead of a, so it only gets the it only go- is it's only going to capture the first character, which is character at 0, meaning the if the value of the character is like add, so it's only going to get the value of the first character, which is 0. So the instead of add, ang iyahang kwaon is only at. I mean only the first character of the word, which is a. So the same thing if let's say if it's sum, so it's going to get the value which is s. So here, although sum ihangi ano dire, again, although sum ihangi ano dire gi type sa user, so expected na dapat i-add niya, but in our program, S is actually it's a subtract. Okay, so later on ato na siyang buhaton. So this time, let's try our program. Um, and yeah, so let's try. And then we have here, let's start with what happened. Mhm. Because the choice is okay. So we can actually, since we can assign either like character ch. Sorry for that. So I didn't see that coming. So instead of since it's already choice is already a string, dapat ibutang nato ni siya like a string, no? Something like this one. So might as well, since we convert na to siya, we cannot convert choice from string into a character. So we should have uh, another variable declared like ch, okay, to represent the character. Or I guess we can do like this, choice that to choice at something like 0 is equal to uh, say that something like no. Okay, so you can actually do that. Okay, uh, what happened here? Wait for a while. So let's follow ch na lang muna. So ch is equal to s of car choice that at wait for a while. So wait, let's build muna this one. Okay, i-build sa nato siya. Let's convert all of the choice kasi dili siya translated, it's just like Java. So we'll need to build this one, all of this first, uh, before we will know if this is really an error. So build all. I guess in Dev C++, this would not, you don't have to, build this one first before you will know it is really an error. So there is an error which says that it's actually in 18. So, okay na 18. So 26 is, what's the error here? Empty, as empty body. It's not an empty body. Okay. Sorry for why. Uh, so let's build it again. So this is the problem if you're going to use, Eclipse as your IDE for C++. You really need to build everything. before it omits all the errors. Or yeah, see, that's it. So right here, uh, yeah, it's possible also to do that. You can also do this like this. If choice that to choice at and then zero is equal to something like a, or it depends if lowercase pa siya or uppercase. Now, sir, what about this one? No, I mean choice. You have here choice that at, but this time, how about if the uppercase na ako ang value? So in that, actually in Java, it's very simple. You just have to, you just have to chain this method. So let's try if C++ can chain a method, something like we can chain it to into two lower. No, we cannot chain. Let's try to chain it. So two lower. This one is not chaining. In Java, we can actually chain or chain our methods. So since we already have CC type, so meaning to say, after getting the first character of our word, it is converted into so we have to, since uppercase mo na itong gigamit din, no? So we have S, so dapat to upper na siya, not to lower. Okay? So again, we'll have to build this one up first, to build all. If doesn't have any error, then I guess we can proceed with our program. So I guess that's it. Our program is okay. So let's run the program and let's see. So we have here 5 and 7. And then uh, let's enter. So this time we are going to enter add. So instead of A, we just enter the word add. So yeah, so it's still the same. The sum of 5 and 7 is 12, meaning it only capture the first letter of the word add. So let's do the same for, like, what if the user is going to enter sum and then the user expect that the value should be added, or the value should be, the value should be summed up. So let's say for an instance, wait for a while. Let's run again as local C, and then okay. Okay, so let's say 6 and 7, and then let's have sum here. So as you can see, though the word is sum, but in our condition, S would mean it's actually a subtract. So therefore, it's going to subtract the numbers 4 and 7. So yeah, so I guess that's something that is parang a loophole with our program. No, I mean it says it amo na bahala ang sound ninyo na. Anyway, so although the user enters sum as a word, but it's only going to capture, since the program is only going to capture the first letter of the word of sum, which is S. So in our condition, S is it's actually going to subtract the 4 and 7. Therefore, the it is going to process the difference of 4 and 7, which is actually -3. All right. So recap again, if you're gonna be converting it like to, if you're going to call to upper to lower, you use the library CC type, and then if you want to, there are actually method under string, so there are actually a lot, so you can actually use or make use of them. But in our next topic, we're going to discuss each some of them, by the way. So these are just some of the most common methods that we can use in our program in terms of, you know uh, in terms of solving a particular problem. Now, this time, we are going to convert this into a switch statement. Okay, so to convert this into a switch statement, all we just need to do is first, we'll need to have a switch statement. So write this one, okay, and then you just have to put the ch there. So the ch is, take note that it is a character after it is converted into to uppercase. So meaning we'll need to use upper cases here. for every case that we have here. So we have case and then A, okay? And then of course you will have to use break. So later on, I'm gonna tell you what's that break all about. So let's just copy paste this one, okay? And then so case, and then right there. So we're going to comment this one out, okay? And then sorry, oops. And then let's follow this one. I mean, copy paste this one. So we have here, okay, so we have case S. So we do the same for, oops, have here is, the next would be D, and then you have multiply. Wait, so allow me to, finish copying, right? So just be careful in copying, no? So because again, there might be other things that you haven't, so we have already ESDM. So this time we are going to use default. So default is if in the event the user enters none of the above, then it's going uh, to display or to it's like an else statement. So this default is actually like an else statement in if statement. So this equivalent of our every case is actually if and if, else if, else if. No, and it's actually equivalent to if or else if black in if statement. So we'll just have to remove this one. Wait for a while. I just realized that there would be a lot of alteration once I don't copy paste this one. So we just have to make sure that we take out the appropriate output statement for every block. So A for adding or addition, subtraction for S, D for dividing, and M for multiplying. All right. So again, this is now commented. I mean, this is now put into comment. So therefore, these statements are not going to be read by our compiler. So we just converted it into a switch statement. So here's how it is. So when a user enters a value, regardless, let's say if it's add or sum, it's still the same. It's going to take the value A or S. No? So only the first character of the word. So then we just put the CH here. And then once we put the CH here, if there is any that's going to match in every case, then that is going to be executed. So, I mean, that block will be executed. So, meaning nakapili na siya. Murag kung ikaw, na dapat kung na kay napilian, di na kami taglain. So, that is the purpose of break there. Okay? Break statement would tell our compiler that it stops from there. The program or your program is going to stop looking any other cases. So it's just like you. It's just like you in terms of looking for someone whenever you already found you already like found someone who is right for you, then therefore you stop looking. Charot, no? I hope so. So, ana siya ang case statement. By the way, ang case statement in C and C++ or even in Java, constant value siya ang gamiton. So, unlike as far as experience knows, like sa Visual Basic, you can use a relational operators. There is this keyword to, so meaning case 3 to 5, something like that. But in C++, in C, and even in Java, or even in PHP, I guess, you cannot do that. So it should be constant value. So constant value. So you can only put a constant value of in your case. So if it's 2, it's always 2. If it's 1, it's always 1. If it's A, it's always A. So what if, sir, katong ganina, like, or katong lowercase a or uppercase a, ang imuhang buhaton ana pwede din mo siya ibutang like case a. So inani ra siya. Like meaning ana either lowercase a or uppercase a. So now, in this particular matter, dili nimo siya butangan og break statement. Kasi kung like A siya, tapos butangan nimo break statement, so this block statement will be only executed. So lahi ang execution sa A nga lowercase o sa A na capital case. So if that is the case, akong advice sa imo is probably if inaanay mong gusto, then you do this one, you copy paste. Pero in terms of like time and space complexity, probably ang imong program it's not efficient. So I would suggest you take that one out and then do this case A and then another case A lowercase uppercase A. So the same, only one break. So meaning there's no break in between capital letter A and small letter A, and then the C out, something like that. So it will work, and you can also do the same for case S in small letter S or case D and small letter case small letter D. So you can also do that. But since we already converted our our value into two upper. So we don't need to do that anymore. Okay, so let's run our program and let's see what's the output. Okay, so we don't change anything here. We only change the, instead of if, we just change or convert it into case. So every if block is converted into case A, plus it has only break statement. So only that you will use, also try to observe that you use colon here for every case. Okay, colon for every case. Yeah. All right. So we have here enter numbers. Let's say 5 and 3, and let's say we are going to multiply. Let's say m. So the product of 5 and 4 is 20. So again, the same. Okay. So what is your take now? So I mean, the point here is that you have here different techniques or strategies. It depends on you as a programmer whether to solve your programs using switch statement or using if statement. So it's just it depends on your discretion whether to use whatever structure you like. But there are actually cases that if statement is best. Okay, if statement or if and else if statement is better than that switch statement. Based on experience, actually, I would just like to share. I normally use switch statement if in terms of, or if in the event that I'm going to create programs like this kind of program, no, like a menu program. So I normally do use switch statement. But if since the case statement is only limited to, because it's you should put a constant value here, you cannot do something like for an instance, if you want to have like case, if let's say for if you want to have a condition like if the age is between 1 and 10, so you cannot do something like case 1 and case 10. You cannot do something like this. So that is actually, it's a no, no, no in C++. And in other programming language, you can do something like case 1 to 10. But again, you cannot do this in C++ or even in C. The same with Java actually. So what you can do is if you will expect na the value could be, the selection could be in bit for this, no, para ma-output siya is dapat mo-fall siya from 1 to 10. You can actually do something like case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4. So see, but what happened? You have actually multiple cases. So in that sense, you can actually use if statement, because in if statement you can actually do something like if like if a value is, let's say, the value of ch, ch is greater than or equal to 0 or 1, and CH is less than or equal to 10, which is actually range. So in that, having said that, the if condition is, uh, you will have a little advantage of if for if statement, if ang imong program would be like mga range of values, no, like numbers, and it can also do something like menus like this, no. The same with switch statement. So my recommendation would be for if condition is actually actually ani. Ang if condition pwede siya pwede siya anything, no? It can do what switch cannot do. While switch, it has limitation. It cannot do what uh, if actually can do. Manang inaana ganit na siya. Na siya limitation. So some of this limitation kato akong ipakita ganina. So that's it. That's for switch if, and I mean that's the difference between if and switch statements. So again, if dili ka butang og break dire for instance, okay. So na instances malimtan ni magbutang ang break. So meaning to say the A now and the S, okay, the A now and the S. So example lang, you don't include break statement in the A. So and then we choose A. Okay, tanaw na to sa output sa tong program. If um, so let's check kung i-process pa sa atong compiler ni. But dapat i-process. Okay, it's the C++ just only parang nagbutang na siya warning, but it's not actually an error. So enter tag 5 and 6, and then enter tag A, let's say add imong gibutang. So take note na ang display is the sum of 5 and 6 is 11. Tapos nag-display po siya og the difference of 5 and 6 is -1 because wala ka nagbutang og break statement. So that's the case, no? Pag malimtan nimo ang break statement. So again, if sa C sa pwede nimo dili tag break statement if kanang mura siya or kanang like case A tapos dako nga A o gamay na A. So katong gibuhat kanina like case A tapos case A. Ay, sorry. Kana, pwede ka na magbutang break statement kay if you treat this as the same. Okay? But if you treat this as not the same, pwede nimo na siya i-separate then kani mo other break or mga break statement. So I guess that's the limitation of switch statement compared to if condition. So again, now that you know the difference between if and switch, it's now depends on you kung sa imong gamiton. So if ever na naa kay ma-encounter mga programs or mga machine problems that uh, requires requires only switch statement or if statement, I mean it depende na sa imo kung sa imong gamiton. Okay? So mura lang na siya og kanang if maghiwa ka og karne tapos sa imong gamiton kutsilyo nga dako, kutsilyo nga gamay or ah, sundang ba or depende as long as it can slice, as long as it can do its purpose, no? So walay problema na. So again, they are different in construct but the goal is the same. I mean they do the same goal which is to solve a particular problem with executing only a certain block of statements. Okay, so I guess that would be all for switch statement. And thank you guys for listening and watching this video. Have a great day. Bye bye. Don't forget to subscribe